Hello and welcome back to my craft room. Very happy to be back in my craft room. I've been back a few days for my Cornwall trip, but there have been so many other things going on, including the most amazing live stream last night. I just haven't had time to actually do any crafting. But there's lots of things I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into. It's a very autumnal day outside here in my part of the UK. A little bit chilly. I'm all wrapped up. Almost want a rug over my knees. And so I think it's a really good day to do the project I have in mind. So there's a couple of things I'm really looking forward to. So the Great Big Little Stitchery Swap round 4 has just started. I've already made a start on my tags. I'm doing tags this time. I've got 28 swaps, 20 something swaps. So I've got a lot of those to be getting on with. I can't show them yet until they've reached my swapsters anyway. The other thing I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into is ArtyFartober, and we're already, it's the 6th of October today as I'm recording this, so I'm already got nearly a week to catch up on, and I just love the look of all the prompts. So ArtyFartober is our community's take on Inktober, which has been going for a number of years now. There are now lots of different variations out there, all kinds of different lists. Some people mix up different lists of prompts together. Ours is a little bit different in that anything goes, so it doesn't just have to be painting or drawing. It could be any craft, anything creative. Any creative response to the prompts is absolutely fine. So it could be anything from knitting and crochet to sewing to cake making, floristry. I've even threatened to do an interpretive dance for one of the prompts, but I don't know if that'll actually happen. I'm going to do a bit of felting, a bit of painting, a bit of all kinds of all the different hobbies that I enjoy will probably come into this. I do have a book to put all the kind of paintings and drawings in, and I might possibly end up putting little photos of some of the projects in there, or notes and plans about some of the projects if they're things that won't fit into the book. So for example, if I made a cake or a bowl of soup, I might just paint it and write the recipe down in this book just to remember it. That's kind of the gist of where I'm going, but I have a lot of catching up to do and I'm really looking forward to it. So today I'm planning to do some watercolour painting, some negative painting, and I'm going to layer it up as well, so it's kind of three-dimensional. And I've also got some felting because, as luck would have it, Maker's Flock Box from last month fits very well with the first prompt in ArtyFartober. So let me just show you the ArtyFartober list. I'm going to go into our Discord community. So here we are in the general chit chat room in our Discord community. I will put a link to our Discord. I'll put my link tree in the description box, so from there you can find your way to the Discord community and the Facebook group. And if you look down the left hand side here, you'll see ArtyFartober. We have a special room for it, and there's some amazing things in here already. If I just scroll up a little bit, hang on. There's so much of it, I can't even get to the top. So here we go. This is where people are starting to make books that they're going to do their prompts in. So Kerry's done a concertina book there. And here we go. Creative Bean has done like a junk journal, which I think is a fabulous idea as well. And then the first prompt was autumn leaves, and look at some of these incredible pieces already. What I'll do is click on them. There's Paula in New Zealand. Here's Claire here in the UK. Creative Bean. Oh, just such. So that's the first three I've looked at, all with the same prompt, and look how different and how beautiful all of those are. Oh, now who's this one? This is Snoppy Karen. So she's actually put she's using the light prompt list. So there are two. I'll show you them in a minute. The light version and the full version, and you can just pick and choose and do one or two, or do all of them, whatever you like, whatever takes your fancy. Mix them up with other lists, we don't mind, but please do share. If you do any of the ArtyFartober ones, please do share them in here or in the Facebook group, because we always love to see. So this list has been put together by Kerry Ann. You'll know her in Discord, and you'll know her in the Facebook group as well. She's one of the admins in there, as is Tori, who also was part of putting this list together. Tori of Cool Kooky Creatures, and Arele, who's also known as Rachel Bridgeton Art on YouTube. So yeah, they put together a full prompt list and a light prompt list. Oh, look at these. This is Jen's interpretation of autumn leaves. Look at this, felted onto it looks like she's felted onto felted wool and then stitched into it. Yeah, felted and stitched, an eco print on cotton. Look at that. absolutely gorgeous. Look at the textures. So that must be an eco print there. Wow. Here's Tori's version. She's doing I'll give you a quick. Oh, it won't let me click on it. I'll leave a link to Tori's channel because she's I think it was a short on her YouTube channel. I don't know why it's not coming up there. Tori also did a Spotify playlist. So picked a track for every single prompt on the list, which I thought was very clever. Are there any more autumn leaves? The next day was Bear. I'm not going to look at Bear today. I'm looking at autumn leaves. So you've seen that photo there. Now you could just as well just do a photo. Just do a photo for your take on the prompt. But look at this. Love it. She's saying didn't even get, this is Janigma, didn't even get close to a finished piece. But I just think that's stunning. And you can always come back to it later on and use it as inspiration for a future piece. I think that's part of the point of doing these prompt challenges. Look at this one. So this is Liz. She's done a leaf garland. It looks like it's stitched. If you are in Discord, I just clicked on the picture to open it. Underneath, if I hover underneath, it says open in browser. And then it will come up bigger and you can scroll around and have a really good look. I can go in even closer. Brilliant. This looks like machine stitch. It's like quilted leaves. They are beautiful. Here's a better look at the list there in Kerry Ann's book. Some more leaves. This is Ruthie Honeybee. I'm skipping past the other days now and just looking for any more autumn leaves. Okay, so I think that is it. I'm not going to look at the subsequent prompts. I'm just going to look at one thing today. Now, if you click on this pin icon at the top, the post that Rachel did at the beginning, Arile did at the beginning, will pop up, and that will give you the prompt list. So here we go. Here's the full prompt list. So today I'm looking at number 1, which is autumn leaves, and I've got I've got 6 to catch up on. In fact, I should do 7 really, because tomorrow it'll be day 7. So 1 is autumn leaves, next one is bear, next one is inside my pencil case, then we've got sweet treats, worldwide influence, bones, and then day 7 is bowl of soup. I might actually just make a bowl of soup for that. So yeah, lots and lots of very, very varied and thought-provoking prompts there. With all of those you could do really simple illustrations or photographs or whatever. I'm a bit tempted to do a bit of knolling. I think I'll do a bit of knolling for my pencil case. Anyway, today I'm concentrating on autumn leaves. If I could just catch up on one today, I'll be happy. So I am going to do some watercolour painting, I'm going to do some cutting out, and I'm going to do some felting, and I'm just going to show you some little clips because I can't do a great long video, can I, for every single one of these prompts this month. I've already gone on far too long. Okay, so let me take you to the desk. This is the book I'm going to be using. I've been hanging on to this one for ages, keeping it for special, and then I thought, no, I'm just going to break into it. I'm going to leave myself a few pages here at the beginning. I think this is like a whole signature here actually, because I want to do something special with the title page, inspired by, I'm going to get something to show you in a minute. So this is, I got this yesterday in the post from Kerry Ann, who was one of the lovely ladies who put the ArtyFartober list together, and she made me a similar idea last year, this kind of 3-dimensional collage technique that she does. So she's done me another one this year, and it's absolutely beautiful. Look, I love the watercolour designs, I love the 3-dimension thing, I love the lettering and the way it's all cut out. I just think it looks beautiful and very distinctively Kerry's. So I'm going to do something like that for my title page by ArtyFartober, and I think I'm going to want to layer it quite a bit, so I'm going to leave myself this whole chunk of pages here. The other thing that I have to do is, this is my Maker's Flock box from last month, which I haven't had time to do because we've been away and had lots of other things going on. But the tutorial, which I haven't had time to watch yet, so it was the Maker's Flock gathering, includes a tutorial, showed you how to make these beautiful autumn leaves out of the contents of last month's Maker's Flock box. Look how much you get. This box is less than £10, and every month it gives you a new technique to try. Enough, they call this try me products, but there's plenty there to do more than one project, you always get a sheep swatch. And this one's New Zealand dragon bats. Love that. So perfect for these autumn leaf colours. And then there's also some of this water soluble, I think they call it water soluble paper, but it's like a thin kind of fabricy stuff, and it does dissolve in water. But I think one of the techniques that Steffi Stern, the founder of the makers, uses a technique where she felts into this stuff but doesn't do the water soluble thing. She just leaves the kind of membrane stuff there, which works really well for doing more two-dimensional shapes like leaves and petals and things like that. So we've got these templates were also provided. So I'm going to have a go at each of these leaf shapes with all of these different colours. Christine, Create and Craft with Christine, she said, oh, where are those? They must be on the Facebook. Let's have a quick look at the Facebook group. So this is the Arty Annie Facebook group. Christine usually shares her things in both groups, so maybe I've missed it. Maybe it isn't in the Discord group and I just didn't scroll down far enough. I just want to find Christine's. Look at some of these other beautiful things being shared. I know lots of people are sharing their... Look, that's Granny Sue's take on the sweet treats prompt. Anyway, I don't want to jump ahead. Here we go. These are Christine's. A bit late for the start of ArtyFartober, but here are some felted autumn leaves. So she's going to use these in the Roxy Field Notes project, and she says it was great fun using these water-soluble interfacing and felt supplies from the Maker's Flock box, which Annie Claxton is the enabler for. But look what a super job she's done with these. Aren't they fabulous? So she's combined the different colours of wool to get these lovely variegations. Absolutely gorgeous. And then I guess she's going to be stitching into them as well. She's got coordinating threads there. So I want to do something like that too, but that's going to be quite long-winded to do, so I don't think I'm going to record that. I will come back and show you how I got on with them, and also because, you know, the tutorial isn't mine to share, so, you know, I will show you how they turned out. I bet they won't turn out as good as Christine's. The link to the Arty Annie group is also in my link tree, which will be in the description box. And as you can see, we share all kinds of different arts and crafts in there. It's, you know, very inspiring, very talented, very supportive, very friendly group. So I've got all of these shapes, and I might use these for my watercolour piece as well. Might as well. Oh, as luck would have it, I can actually see through, so that's good. So I'm going to take you to the desk and show you what my plan is. I want to have a couple of layers of leaves kind of cut out and raised up from the base. So I'm going to need for each of those layers at least a couple of pages. So that's why, although there are only 30 prompts, I'm going to need a thick book to do some of the things I've got in mind. And the pages that I cut out to make more room, I will then use for subsequent prompts, things I've got in mind for subsequent prompts. So I'm going to take 3 of these pages for the first layer and clip them together, 3 for the next layer and clip together. There we go. And then the thing I don't like about this, I've used one of these sketchbooks before, it's Sea White of Brighton. Got it in a combo kit from a Scrawler ages ago, but I've been saving it for special, as I say. The only thing I don't like is I tend to prefer coil bound so that it will lie flat. Having said that, the finished effect is nicer without the coils in the way, so I'll just try and use these clips to hold things back out of my way. So this is the page where I want to do the first part of this piece, and the plan is that it would be, oh, what do you call it, a negative painting. I'm going to be using watercolour. I've got 2 mugs full of water. One I'll use for washing my brush and one I'll use for actual water, and I've got a spray bottle as well. I've got an old Daler Rowney watercolour set with the sort of, you know, classic colours in it. Should have everything I want there. And I'd also like to bring in these beautiful paints. Claire gave me these because they've got some beautiful, they're so gorgeous to use. And I think it'd be nice to bring some of these metallic shades into the autumn leaves, but that'll be more of a finishing touch. They're lovely paints to use, these. CSY Gallery handmade honey watercolour. I just love the way they come in that little tin. Gorgeous. I have got 3 different size kind of round watercolour brushes. I've got a rag to wipe them off on, and later on I'm going to want a blade and a cutting mat to put between the pages. And I'm going to use this template because I might as well. It may end up being covered up anyway, but I do love that tape peel at the end. So with negative painting, and leaves work really well for this technique, you start off with a background, then you put in one layer. The background is very, very light, barely there, and then you add another layer which goes kind of further back into the painting. So you're kind of starting at the front and working backwards. So the next layer going backwards is a little bit darker, and then you do another layer going darker again, and another. I usually do 3 or 4 layers, and that's as much as I can handle. So for this very first layer, I'm just going to just create a little light wash of these kind of nice warm autumnal colours. Let's just like wake these paints up a bit with some water. I think I'll probably end up using most of these colours, except perhaps not the blues. I'm going to use this big fat brush first. I think I'll just start off by putting I'll spritz it. Getting my paper wet. I can actually see it better on the camera than I can in real life in this light. Get that nice and wet. And let's just use some of these lighter colours. So you can see it's hardly there, and being watercolour it will dry up even lighter. And where it's pulled at the edges there a little bit, I'll just pick that up. Yeah, not taking too much time over it, don't need to. And then I need to wait for this to dry before I do the next layer. That's where it gets a bit frustrating. So what I'm going to do now is I think I'll take this off to my hairdryer and dry this first layer. And it will dry up even lighter than it looks there already, but don't worry, that's what we need. Right, so I have dried that off with my hairdryer. I've drawn round a couple of the leaves from the template that Steph provided in the Maker's block box. Done it quite roughly, I've not been too careful, and then I just did one other kind of plain leaf shape, and I'm just going to use these to help me draw out my first layer of leaves. So I don't want too many because I need to leave space in between for another couple of layers at least, and I do want to make sure they kind of go off the page a bit like that. I'm not going to be too precise about how I draw around these because no 2 leaves are ever going to be the same anyway, and I'm doing it fairly lightly because I'm probably not going to be able to rub out. So let's do another one of these down here, but as I say, I must remember to leave some space as well, and this will become the top layer of my painting, the very lightest layer of leaves. So now with this next stage, I'm going to go a shade darker, a shade deeper. If I don't get it deep enough, it doesn't matter, I can always add another layer if I have to. I think I'm going to go to the smaller size of brush now, get into the nooks and crannies. I'll give my colours another spritz, and I'm just going to randomly take these colours kind of as they come. I'm not going to think about it too much. I'll probably start from the left and work over so I'm not putting my hand in my work. Ooh, that is far, far, far too dark. Let's quickly water that down. Okay. Let's bring another colour in. going to mix it. I'm quite happy to mix it up there with that bluish colour so it goes all muddy. That will be absolutely fine for this. And I'm just going to let the colours blend together however they like. I'm really not being too careful at all. It's just always going to be quite random. And again, this will dry up lighter than it looks right now. Let's have a bit of that golden yellow now. So I'm very carefully, or reasonably carefully, going around the outlines here. I don't mind if I go over the lines a little bit, but the basic thing is not to go over that top layer. That's got to stay nice and light. So there, I've gone over the line a little bit, but the main shape stayed light. I'm too lazy to be more careful than that, really. Okay, so I'm going to work my way right across the page like this. Blend the colours in where they meet each other, or not, doesn't matter. The end result, by the time I've done another couple of layers, you won't even see that. So I'll go through, do that, dry it off, and then I'll be back. I don't believe it, I've just been wittering away to myself for 10 minutes there and just noticed that I hadn't pressed start. So I don't know how much of this I've missed, but basically I've now got three layers there. The initial wash, then the first background, and then another. I'm going to go away and leave this to dry now and then come in with another layer of leaves underneath. And then probably what I was just wittering about there was I'd use my Prismacolor or maybe Inktense pencils to outline some of these, and then I can activate with water to kind of blend them into the leaf, which is not kind of part of the negative painting technique traditionally, but I think it'll work nicely for what I've got in my mind. And then a bit later my plan is to paint another section that's actually cut out so that you can see, you can peek through to this bottom layer. That's where I hope I'm going with this. Right, it's actually very, very early the next morning, so I'm speaking very quietly. People still asleep. And I've realised what I did wrong with this, I think, is that I shouldn't have overlapped those leaves in that first layer. I think the leaves in each layer shouldn't overlap each other. They should just kind of underlap the layer before, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is, where I've got these, haven't got enough contrast between these, I'm going to just paint these in slightly different colours to differentiate that cluster of leaves there. Maybe a little bit here as well, but I can kind of sort that out when I add my Inktense later. So I need to add one more layer to this as well. And what I've done is I've started to cut out these, so these two layers will be stuck together, and then this page I will have some leaves coming out, and then I'll cut the rest of the frame, and then again here these will be stuck, and the rest of that frame will be stuck to these as well, and the same with this layer, and that will be the top one. So I'm going to do that. And also I thought, well, since I've now got some of these pieces cut out, I'm going to do another negative painting. I'm going to do it again, I'm going to do it at the same time, hopefully show how I should have done it. So I will speed some of this through, play a little bit of music and show you some clips, because I don't think you'll want to sit and watch the whole thing again. The advantage of that is while one piece is drying, I can be working on the other piece. Now I've cut 2 layers of frames, so 1 frame, 2 frames, then one with some leaves attached. I've just put tape there where I want the white to be, although I'll probably glue all of these layers together so that layer might not show anyway. But then I've got another 2 frames to build up a little bit of depth. I'm hoping they won't stick up like that. I'm hoping that once they've been pressed in the book for a bit they'll lie flat, but if not I could just do like Kerry does with the piece that I showed you, this piece. So she puts like foam dots underneath, so I could do that. I'd rather leave it separate if I can. And then that's the last layer. Meanwhile, this is busy drying, but still not quite dry. So I'm going to start this first layer of these leaves. Okay, now I need to wait for them to dry. So maybe now I can go on. I can go on to the next stage of this one. It's still a little bit damp, but hopefully I'll get away with it. Yeah, so with this one I didn't overlap that first layer, but now I'm going to overlap, kind of underlap the next layer back, if that makes sense. I think this will work better. Okay, put that aside to dry. You can see I can't get my lines very accurate, they're bleeding and stuff because the paper is actually still a bit damp, but hey ho, I'm running out of time now. I'm just going to let that dry now, and then I think instead of Inktense this time I'm going to use my fancy schmancy Albrecht Dürer pencils. So these are watercolour, whereas Inktense are well, not actually watercolour, they're ink. But these are actually watercolour, so I think I'm going to go with these. They look kind of autumnal, don't they? And what I will do is just add some line work and then soften it out with a brush. Let's just see how that's going to work. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I can just intensify the colours here and there. So perhaps under here where there'd be a bit of shadow, I might just add a little bit more, just to sort of give it a bit more texture really, as much as anything. And I could also indicate a kind of stem up the middle, couldn't I? You can either leave them just as pencil or just soften them out a little bit like that. And where I feel like I want a little bit extra darkness, I can do that too. Or I could add in a touch of red here and there, just for, or even green, because you do get some green in autumn leaves, don't you? I have to just add a touch of green here and there, like maybe to here. I think I'll just make it look a little bit more interesting, peeking through there. So I'm going to work through and do that because I think this video will have gone on far too long already. I want to add another layer to this. It's still damp. But definitely I think that is the secret, not to overlap the leaves in each layer. You overlap them with the leaves in the layer before, but you don't overlap them with other leaves in the same layer. So this time I will go here with this one, I think. I'll make this quite dark now. You see, I've got a problem controlling this because I'm not waiting long enough between layers, but I think the overall effect is going to be okay. I'm going to stop recording now, and I'm going to do some more pencil work on this and glue these pages together, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks in the end. Okay, I've had a think, and I think what I'm going to do for a bit more definition, because it's all a bit blah, is I'm going to use dark-ish brown pencils to just outline all the leaves, possibly put some veins in, and I think I'm going to like the look of this better, and I might even shadow them. So this is going completely away from the negative painting technique that I started with. I think I'm going to like it better. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I better make the next few days catching up slightly, better come up with some slightly quicker ideas. So I'd like to start next week along with everybody, but it doesn't matter, you can always catch up. You can always miss a couple of prompts, you know. Yeah, I'm going to do this just because because I will enjoy the doing of it as much as anything. So I might speed through some of this and see you at the other end. I'm just going to carry on doing line work now and shading into these little negative spaces that I've created in the painting. I think I'm just going to stick with this one dark brown pencil and not get too fussy about it, because I do need to get this finished. Yeah, I'm just going to enjoy doing a little bit of line work, some simple shading, just to add a bit of definition and oomph to the thing, and then I'm going to call it done. So I'm going to carry on and work through this, and I'll come back and show you how it turned out. I'm sure you probably had quite enough watching me scribble. I'll see you in a minute. There we go, I'm all finished with that now. Quite happy with it now. I've left this, I've glued all of these sheets together. Probably ought to try and colour the other side, really, and do something about that. I'm not sure, but I wanted to leave this so it was also like a painting in its own right, and that's so I can see it all, because obviously when I do that I can't see most of it. So yeah, I think for the time being I'm going to leave it like that, but I might try and do something to tidy this area up, maybe colour the backs of the leaves as well. But for now, that is it. That is me done. I ended up using some other colours of colour pencils as well, just to add some little bits of shading and highlights in. Yeah, that's it. That's day 1 done, and it's day 6 today. No, it's actually day 7 today. I'm not going to come up to the camera to say goodbye because I'm still sitting here in my PJs as I finish this. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. I will put my link tree in the description box so you can find your way to the Facebook group and the Discord community. The Discord community is an arty-farty room, which you'll see down the left hand side. I think I might have shown you that earlier in the video. And you can find the list of the prompt list in there, and that's where people will post all of their takes on the prompts. And in the Facebook group it will be up in the featured posts at the top of the page if you want to find it, or just give a shout and someone will help you. Okay, so thank you very much again for joining me. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again really soon.